Ephesoft is an enterprise web-based scanning solution. It uses the CMIS export to connect to external enterprise content management systems such as Documentum. With many users who uses the CMIS, they know that CMIS has certain limitations, such as functionality specific to a particular repository or backend, such as SharePoint, FileNet, and Documentum. It also has a limitation where Ephesoft sometimes generates more document to export than the CMIS could handle. At Impact Innovation Systems, we have developed a Documentum export plugin for Ephesoft that utilizes the Documentum DFC or Documentum Foundation classes to eliminate the throughput issue. Like any other plugin in Ephesoft, we need to add it to the export module step and configure it. The configuration of the plugin is pretty straightforward. Like many other plugins, we have a switch that enables or disables it. We have an option to select the format of the file we are exporting, in this case PDF or TIFF. We define the username, the encrypted password, the document repository. We also need to define the Documentum root directory, in this case the cabinet, temp, and then the folder underneath the temp, Ephesoft export. In the mapping file path, we map the Ephesoft attributes with the Documentum attributes. We also have the option of exporting the batch XML or not, in this case no, and then what the versioning mechanism we want to use if the document already exists. We have the standard none, which overrides it. We can check it as the same version, we check it as a minor version, or we can check it in as a major version. So I'm going to leave everything as is. I'm just going to go ahead and click cancel. Look at the mapping file, it's pretty straightforward. We map the Ephesoft document class with the Documentum type. We have the Documentum attribute, sending it to a static value, and then a combination of the two of the Ephesoft attributes. It's the same with the other fields down here. We can also define additional folder path underneath the root. In this particular document type, in this particular Documentum type, we set another folder underneath the root called self-help log, and then from that we create a second folder that is based off of the student name attribute in Alfresco. We also have another document type here, the RFI, that maps with the DM document type in Documentum. In Documentum, going into the temp folder, the Ephesoft export, and then we have two folders here that is already created. Let's go into the red flag intervention. You can see that there's already a red flag intervention document here that is dated 5/4/11/30. And let's look at the property of this document. It is version 1.2. Keep that in mind, version 1.2. Let's go to the self-help log. And the self-help log folder, we do not have any folders at all defined. Let's go back to Ephesoft now. In Ephesoft, I already have one batch ready for export to Documentum. So let's go ahead and validate this batch. So we have a RFI document that is have all the necessary attribute, in this case none defined, so we're good. I'm going to go ahead and use 2013 time of 00, out 9, and the student of Jane Smith, and I will go ahead and process this through. So let's go back to the Documentum. In Documentum, we're going to go to the Ephesoft export folder and go to the red flag intervention. Here we can see that the modified date and the time has changed. So let's take a look at the property, see if the version has changed. And it has changed from version 1.2 to 1.3. Let's go to the self-help log. As you remember, originally it was empty. Now we have a folder called Jane Smith, which is what we define in the mapping file. In the Jane Smith folder, we have a new file. So let's look at the properties. In here, as we define the object type to be a static value of student, and then the student name, and then the date. And it's version 1.0. Looking at the attributes, the other attributes, we should have a time in and time out of 8 and 9 o'clock respectively. So here we have 8 and then we have a 9 o'clock timeout. Thank you for joining me today.